Hi, I'm Stephen, and filming me today is Jason Robinson, who his fishing group is Shoreboat, North Wales and England. Mine is Totally Mad for Sea Fishing, which previously I did a video here not so long ago. It was a bait demonstration. Today I'm going to do something, well, basically similar. We're currently fishing Mostyn docks as it is. Got a few lines out in the water at the minute. Not a bad day, so we thought we'd give it a whirl. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to pre-bait on a double panel rig some bluey. Now, just make some room here. We've got some. It's a bit awkward being on these rocks. It's not the easiest job in the world trying to do this. So you just have to bear with me a second. So what I'll do is just take a slice. Take it nice and easy. Can be a bit tricky at first, this. You soon get used to it eventually. It is a bit of a job sometimes when you haven't got that much room to work with, but there we go. Beggars can't be choosers. So just slide along the bone, not too deep. Nice and gently. It does help if you've got a nice, sharp knife for this. These are not the best, I must admit, but they'll do the job. So, nearly there. Nice bit of, just keep your fingers out of the way. So, nice piece of bluey there, nice and fresh. Well, freshish. So, what I'm going to do is, there's the rig. And that hook, size 5 Sakuma, size 3. Easy rig to use. There's many variations of it. If you go to your local tackle shops, there is different styles of it you can get, or you can make your own. So anyway, what we're going to do is place the first hook. What I tend to do is just go in from the side, not too much, not to go all the way, don't go mad. Bring the hook through, and then what I tend to do is just towards the end, not all the way, just enough for the hook to line itself. I bring it outwards, so the hook comes out nice and easy. Pull the line that's left there nicely through, so the end hook is situated there nicely, so it acts like an anchor. And then what I do is bring the smaller hook down just enough, and it's a bit fiddly, but you get used to it. Just wind it around once or twice round the hook. What I do is then just pop it through the top of the bait nicely, and then because it's all bunched up, that's not what you want, that's not the end product. So just slide the line so it stretches the bait out nicely, and eventually you should come out with a nice streamlined bait. And what you can do to improve that, presentation isn't amazing, but as you get used to it and you start to work on it a bit better, it does get better with time. It's all down to practice. And what you can do is, we have some bait elastic. You don't have to use bait elastic. It's not a necessity, but it can help. And if I can get that a bit straighter, there we go. Like I said, it is a bit of a fiddly job to begin with at first. Just, don't have to give it loads, just to secure it, that's all. All you're doing really is just securing the bait to the hook, just gives you that extra bit of security when it's casting. That's all the cotton is for, really. And it's a bit of a fiddly job, but once you get going, you get used to it and you get the idea of it. it's not the best presentation I've done by far, but I suppose to a fish they're not bothered about presentation. And what I did in the last video, I just secure it with a knot. Don't have to do loads, and then just snap it off like so. And there you have it. It's a bit more streamlined now, so it's not overly flapping around, and your hook secured it there at the top. All the hook is there for is just to help it streamline when you're casting out, and it just presents the bait a little bit better. And when this is casting out, and I've got the end of the rig there somewhere. There we go. Thank you. Bit of seaweed there. There we go. Go. And then attach the bottom hook. This isn't actually a proper clip down weight. This is a clip that you'd use if you were, you know, joining like a rig to a main line from the reel. You can use them. It's a lot easier doing it that way. It saves tying knots all the time, and when you tend to do that, you're losing line off your reel and stuff, and eventually it starts costing you money, and you start losing valuable line on your reel. So anyway, what I do is just secure the bottom hook. It's a bit fiddly at first, but you get used to it. And then if the weight stops turning, and then just hold that. That's the idea of it anyway. So it's secured. If you can see the bottom clip there where the hook is, it just gives it a bit of trajection going through the air. So when that casts out, that will release when it hits the water, and it's a case of like that, come off. But hey, tide takes your bait, nice and flowing, even on the deck. Weight secure. So it's a simple exercise really. Once you get used to it, you'll get more and more better at what you do. Like I say, it's not the best presentation I've done, but it just gives you some idea of what you can do. And there's we've got one that we made earlier, just haven't had a chance to use it yet. It's exactly the same procedure, except there's no bait elastic on it. It was sand eel. It's a bit more better presented, this one, so I'm a bit more happy. So that looks a bit, you know, best bet. So that's ready. Say if you've got one rig out now and you know for a fact you've got the bait ready. So it's exactly the same procedure as you'd be using with the bluey. Exactly the same. And that's it really. That's all there is to it.
Just a question, Steve.
Yes.
Novice anglers, what advice would you give them to start off rig wise? And anything that will help the novice angler or anyone that's looking to start?
Well, to begin with, I wouldn't go anything that's, you know, too advanced. If you're starting out as a beginner, excuse me, it's a fly there. If you're starting out like we've all done, you just keep your rig simple, keep your tackle simple, like you know, 2 hook flappers, 3 hook flappers. Just make it easy for to begin with. You don't need anything, you know, where you have to clip this down. This is just a case of once you advance from one rig to another, you get more and more comfortable, and then you can upgrade as you go along. But I would recommend to any angler just starting out, just keep it simple, small rigs and stuff, nothing advanced.
Gear wise, with the rods, reels, what advice would you give again, beginners?
Again, until you get into the actual fishing properly, you know, if you were gonna buy your first setup, I would recommend buying a combo that you can get from many tackle shops. They'll set you back about maybe £30–40, just a standard reel. You don't need anything big makes or brands. Fishing rods wise, 2 to 6 ounce maybe, 12 footers. You know, you don't want anything that's going to be, you know, that's going to cost you the £100 bracket. You don't want anything like that to begin with, because the chances are, as you get along, depending on the venues you're fishing, you know, your gear is going to take a bit of a hiding over time and stuff. You know, you're going to get scratches and stuff until you get used to the gear that you're using. So I would always say go with something that you know it's going to take a bit of you know, bit of a battering sometimes. Just depends on how you fish and how you look after your gear at the end of the day. And you know, if you look after your gear, it's going to look after you.
And I know obviously with these questions, obviously what I'm going to ask is, look, you know, how do you carry your fishing tackle? Do you know, because obviously a lot of people, they'll have the boxes, but again, not everyone can afford the boxes. Boxes.
I started out, just excuse me 1 second. Go. I started out firstly, and I still to this day have it, and it's a very good investment. You can't do any better than a good old rucksack like I've got here. It's got everything you need to begin with. Side pockets, both sides, pocket there, great space interior. There's, you know, you can get stacks of gear in. You don't have to welly around loads and loads of gear when you're starting out fishing. The trick is with fishing, you've got to work out the venue where you're going to fish and make it as light as you can. If you carry loads of gear around big boxes, you're going to struggle. So these are very good value for money. I think this cost about £20, and that's going back about, what, 5 years ago. And to this day, I actually prefer using my bag these days to my box, because I find it so much easier when you're fishing a venue as we are today. Very rocky, can be a bit treacherous, especially in the wet. It does help you. You've got more control over it, and I would thoroughly recommend investing in one for the novice angler to begin with. And the bonus as well, you know, you've got drinks holders and stuff as well. So, you know, with a box and stuff, sometimes you haven't got that room, and with your rigs and reels, you don't always have to have. Not everything has to be big. Keep it basic.
Can you talk us through some of the gear you use yourself?
Yes. Today I'm using a Penmag 525. Obviously, I do apologise for the condition. It does need a clean, but it's an ideal reel. It's a very good reel, and it's very good for like winching, you know, heavy fish and stuff. Very heavy duty reel. Like I say, as you get into your fishing more, it's worth upgrading. These are the kind of reels I would recommend that you buy. You can pick them up nowadays, you know, a good second-hand one maybe for about £70 odd, maybe less.
You see it's been monomugged there, Steve.
Yes, and that was done by an angler, and I bought that off a very good friend of mine. And to be honest with you, that has been an excellent investment, and I would fully recommend. You know, you don't always have to upgrade things, but it's a good investment. With that said, the rod that I'm using is a Gray's GRXS. Very good rod, very good. It's a 6 to 8 ounce. Excellent for casting. It's not heavy, it's nice and light, and you don't feel as if you're casting a telegraph pole, which is always a good thing. And for when you fish in venues like this, it's also very light and durable, so it's easy to move around with it. You don't feel as if you know, it's too heavy when you're casting. You don't throw yourself in. But obviously, I mean, I've got a rod over here. This is